everyone, I'm back today with a new layout and a coordinating blog post for a cherry on top. We are going to talk a little bit about journaling today. I'm going to be working with products from Uniquely Creative. So I have that pink paper and I fussy cut half of it. And then some of these papers I'm going to use are fussy cut papers, or like the other side is a fussy cut paper, but I'm going to use these pretty textural patterns on my layout today. I'm also being inspired by Chamel's newest sketch collection. It's called My Sparkly Friend, and I used sketch number 2 for my layout today. That sketch features lots and lots of journaling, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Journaling is also our product focus for the month of June over at the Rediscover Your Stash Facebook group. So this layout is going to tick a lot of really fun boxes. I have 3 different mists here. These are all mists from Brutus Monroe. The first one is Aqua Pigment in the Pearl color. Then I also have Aqua Splash in Raven and Shimmer Splash in Gilded. And if these are still available, either at a Cherry on Top's shop or Brutus Monroe's shop, I will link them in the description box. I am using my favorite splatter technique, which is a fan brush. Nothing splatters quite like a fan brush. And I am going to create a lot of splatters in a diagonal line from my top left to the bottom right corner of my background paper. Once I have all of the splatters done, I am going to set the background aside and we're going to work on some more elements of the layout. So while I am cutting down paper and getting all of my layers together, I will be talking about my journaling. So for my journaling today, I really like every so often to do a currently page. So when I take a really good selfie, like one that I really like, I generally know, okay, we're going to do a currently page. For my currently page, honestly, if you've been around here for any length of time, you know I'm not a huge journaler. Journaling is, I always find it the most difficult, the hardest, the most daunting. I don't ever force my journaling. So if I have something to say, if I think of something to say, I'll write it down. But for the most part, if I don't have anything I want to say, then I generally don't say anything and just leave it without journaling. So when I have a page like this where I really want to kind of give a snapshot of what my life looks like right now, my favorite resource is Pinterest. So if you go to Pinterest and you type in currently prompts or currently list, you will get so many ideas for currently lists. These lists go from the simplest to very in-depth. So if you like to journal a lot, you can find currently lists with lots of things that you can journal about for a currently page. Whereas if you are someone who just wants to get the basics down, there's ones that are very basic. So I went on Pinterest and I chose a currently list that I thought would work really well. When I read down through the list, I immediately had an idea for what I wanted to journal about, and that is what worked. Now, when these currently lists, when you find them on Pinterest, some of them are open for you to download and use. Sometimes they charge a small fee, depends on what you're looking at. Sometimes there are ones that you can just download and print, and then other ones are more organic that you would have to create kind of like your own prompt list. I chose a currently list that I could save and print, and then I printed the currently list on a piece of pattern paper from the collection. And then I just took my favorite gel pen of the moment, which is a Sharpie. It's a Sharpie S-Gel 0.7 tip, and wrote and did all the journaling on that currently list. Now the page that I chose did have some writing across the top. It said currently, or what. I'm going to cover all of that up. So that little blue piece across the top of my prompt list, we're just going to cover that up, pretend it doesn't even exist. So I went ahead, I cut down all the big sheets of paper, and then I put lots and lots of messy layers behind my photo and behind my journaling list here. And now I'm taking my scissors, I'm doing some old school roughing up all of the edges and then inking all the edges with Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. We've got some torn edges, we've got some straight edges, and I want to kind of, I guess, dirty them up a bit. So I want to add some, make them look a little bit more old, a little bit more weathered. Next, I am going to grab my background, which is mostly dry at this point. I want to put the photo and the journaling onto the paper, make sure I don't need any more splatter. And what I am going to decide to do is to add just a bit of gold splatter to my journaling box. I don't want to add the black because I don't want to cover up my writing. And I don't want to add a lot, so I'm just going to use my fan brush and the Gilded Aqua Splash and just add a little bit of splatter to the bottom right and top left, and that's going to kind of reinforce the diagonal line that I put onto my background paper. So I cut down some of the scraps that I had, and I also die cut this gorgeous die set. So for those of you who watched my unboxing, when I unboxed this new Uniquely Creative die, and I said I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, or if, how it was going to cut because I've never used this brand before, I'm here to tell you that die cut like a champ. It is delicate and sweet and absolutely stunningly beautiful. So I cut 3 of them, one in black, one in white, and one in gold, to help to add more of those colors into the finished layout, because those are the 3 colors that are on the splatter of my background. And since I have those colors on my background, I want to kind of reinforce them, bring them back in another element on the page. And I thought those dies would be perfect for that. So I went ahead and kind of just straightened up some of the pattern paper scraps that I had from making the layers. I roughed them up. I added some of the Distress Oxide and Vintage Photo. Now I'm going to use some fabric tape from 49 and Market. I love their fabric tape, and I feel like I buy it and don't use it very often. So I wanted to get some of it on my page. In fact, I think I ended up most of the pages and layouts I have for you this week use that beautiful washi or fabric tape or washi tape from 49th and Market. This particular washi tape is from, I believe the line is called Nature Study. The box says Vintage Bits Essential Fabric Tape Assortment. And as always, if it is still available over at Cherry on Top, I will have it linked in the description box. So I'm using that washi tape almost like a dividing between the photo and my journaling, kind of breaking the page in half, but then I'm going to add all of these little bits and pieces for my clusters, and it's going to become just another element on the page. It's not going to actually look like I cut the page in half. It all kind of blends in together into one cohesive page. I am going to cut these delicate die cuts up because I want to use all three of them. I want to use pieces of all three of them, and I want to tuck them in different areas of my layout. I knew that I had enough. I knew these were large enough. I didn't need to cut more than these three. And then by cutting them up, I can spread them out and tuck them in, around, and behind different areas of my layout, and also layer them up on top of each other. So that's what I'm going to do. I am holding them in place with some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, but I'm just holding them in a couple areas. I'm not like coating the back with the glue, because I want some of the pieces to kind of stand up and have some dimension. And I've been doing that throughout the course of this layout, just really adding dimension and wanting things to look a little bit looser, not like everything's glued right down to the page. These die cut layers are actually going to act as the base for my clusters, except for the ones on this side. I don't think I tucked anything under there. But this is like the fun for me. I love layering clusters and pieces and bits and bobs like that. Down there where the gold one is, I love the two gold pieces and how they kind of set off all those layers. Just beautiful. Next, I'm going to take all these beautiful floral pieces that I fussy cut. So I fussy cut half of the B side of this pink paper. That's going to be my background. And I am tucking these little floral pieces all over the place. This is a very, very elegant, shabby chic, touch of Victorian type of page. So we are going to go with everything. I want to cover up the currently above my list. I want to cover it up with exactly the same thing. So I'm going to grab these puffy gold stickers. I think they're from Pink First Studio. I'm going to fidget with them. I'm going to move them around like 1,000 times till I get them exactly where I want them to be my title. And then I'm going to take these puffy number stickers and put my age in the lower right hand corner. So yes, in case you're wondering, I'm 45. I don't want to talk about it. I actually have loved my 40s. I really have. I like this decade. We'll see what the next decade brings, because I'm already halfway through my 40s, which is ridiculous to me. But anyway, whoa, so fast. It goes so fast, you guys. But I am enjoying my 40s. I will say that. Now I have my title in place. I have all my floral pieces in place. Now I want to play with these lace pieces. This package of lace flowers, there's loads of them. They're like these pretty applique kind of flowers. So what I did was, I don't know if there is a really, really good way to adhere them. So what I did was I made sure to tuck a little bit of each one underneath something. And then I adhered them down with some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And because they're only being held on by just a little edge, I put quite a bit of the glue on them. And it did come through out the top, but it was okay because I had those pieces tucked underneath, right? So the glue just kind of stuck it all together. I wouldn't use tape because it will stay sticky on top, because these are really kind of not transparent, maybe see-through is the word, or they're open. They have an open weave to them. There you go. So this was how I adhered them. And then I just held it down there, let all that glue stick. And they don't want to come up now. Like, they're stuck. They're not coming up. But I'm not sure if there's a better way to adhere them or not. Probably the best way to adhere them would be to stitch them onto your page. But you know what, guys? No, just no. Here is my finished layout, and then I have some close-ups for you. I love how this layout turned out. I think it is beautiful. I think it reflects my personality, my sense of style, the things I really like. It has that currently list, which also kind of documents all the things I am loving right now. And I'm so happy to have you join me today. If you would like to check out the blog post, or if you need any of these gorgeous projects for your stash, you can check out the description box below. Have a wonderful day. Bye.